Western-based organizations such as Amnesty International and Human Rights Watch condemn both the Saudi criminal justice system and its severe punishments. There are no jury trials in Saudi Arabia and courts observe few formalities. Human Rights Watch, in a 2008 report, noted that a criminal procedure code had been introduced for the first time in 2002, but it lacked some basic protections and, in any case, had been routinely ignored by judges. Those arrested are often not informed of the crime of which they are accused or given access to a lawyer and are subject to abusive treatment and torture if they do not confess. At trial, there is a presumption of guilt and the accused is often unable to examine witnesses and evidence or present a legal defense. Most trials are held in secret. However, ordinary Saudis, according to a BBC report, support the system and say that it maintains a low crime rate. Saudi Arabia has long been criticized for its human rights record. Human rights issues that have attracted strong criticism include the extremely disadvantaged position of women. See women in Saudi society below, capital punishment for homosexuality, religious discrimination, the lack of religious freedom and the activities of the religious police. See religion below. Between 1996 and 2000, Saudi Arabia acceded to 4 UN human rights conventions and, in 2004, the government approved the establishment of the National Society for Human Rights, NSHR, staffed by government employees, to monitor their implementation. To date, the activities of the NSHR have been limited and doubts remain over its neutrality and independence. Saudi Arabia remains one of the very few countries in the world not to accept the UN's Universal Declaration of Human Rights. In response to the continuing criticism of its human rights record, the Saudi government points to the special Islamic character of the country, and asserts that this justifies a different social and political order. The United States Commission on International Religious Freedom had unsuccessfully urged President Barack Obama to raise human rights concerns with King Abdullah on his March 2014 visit to the kingdom, especially the imprisonments of Sultan Hamid Marzouk al-Enetsai, Saud Falahwad al-Enetsai, and Raif Badawi. Saudi Arabia also conducts dozens of executions each year, mainly for murder and drug smuggling. Although there are people who have been executed for deserting Islam and crimes against the Faisal bin Musaid, the method of execution is normally beheading in public. In 2013, the government deported thousands of non-Saudis, many of them who were working illegally in the country or had overstayed their visas. Many reports abound of foreigner workers being tortured either by employers or others. This resulted in many basic services suffering from a lack of workers, as many Saudi Arabian citizens are not keen on working in blue-collar jobs. Saudi Arabia has a counter-radicalization program, the purpose of which is to combat the spread and appeal of extremist ideologies among the general populace and to instill the true values of the Islamic faith, such as tolerance and moderation. This tolerance and moderation has been called into question by the Baltimore Sun, based on the reports from Amnesty International regarding Raif Badawi, and in the case of a man from Hafr al-Baytan sentenced to death for rejecting Islam.